We're going to be meeting in a downward dog for this short add-on. We're going to get into really building and checking the form and alignment in Trikonasana, the triangle pose. So in the next couple of breaths, make sure those palms are shoulders width, your feet are about hips width, and whether you're coming still into down dog, or you could be moving the hips and the feet around, bouncing out through the knees, shaking out the head. You're just finding that stretch that you need here for about 2 breaths before we begin. We want to try to have 2 blocks somewhere near the top lining of the mat. We'll get it momentarily. And if you don't have props, then maybe you can grab a chair after this stretch. Okay, just pausing the video. Big toes coming together to touch. Let's inhale the right leg up toward the ceiling. Stack your hips and then find a hold. Square off the shoulders. Continue to fire up through the triceps by pushing your chest palate toward the thigh bone. Taking about 2 more breaths. Bending the right knee, stepping that foot in between the palms, and then dropping the back heel. So first, your alignment is front heel to back arch alignment. You've got 1 block near the top of the mat, and the other block you might not need, but it's in close reach. Okay, from here you're going to bring yourself up into a warrior 2, and you're just going to check the form. So get into a warrior 2, find your depth. You want that shin to be parallel to that wall that you're looking at. That back arm is the same height, just about 2 more breaths. Pressing into your right heel to straighten out the right leg. And then notice if you're dumping into the right hip, okay? Lift the right hip, square the hips off, and then lift up through the chest. Okay, your left toes are facing more of that side wall that your body is facing, the front of your body. Start to hinge the upper body forward and then tilt. So the right palm comes toward your right shin. We're not going to drop into the hip right now because we're working just on holding more of an upright position before we shift into a deeper Trikonasana. So again, press that right hip forward, pull the left hip back. Now if you need to, that block can come to level 3 height, and you could plant the right palm down and then just work on reaching the left fingertips up toward the ceiling. Now take about 3 to 5 slow full body breaths in and out of the nose. Soften your toes. We want to keep the weight onto the outsteps of your feet. Eyes toward the top of the mat, micro bend into the right knee. Take that block to level 1 height and then do that little kick back so you go a little bit deeper into the hip. So now the hips aren't fully square toward that wall that you're looking at, and it's just going to change the angling of the stretch. Try to keep the weight on the outsteps of your feet, and maybe if you'd like, left palm could come behind the back, wrapping around the right thigh. Your eyes could stay looking down if it feels more comfortable. And the crease of the elbow is facing the left side of the room. Just take about 2 more breaths here. Simply unbind your left palm, plant it down to the mat, micro bend into the right knee, and then gently pivot up on that back toe. Move the block to the side, option vinyasa, or down dog direct. Nice and easy for this week's add-on. Taking about 3 breaths in down dog. If you've got lots of energy, feel free to take a few vinyasas. You can always modify the postures or add any kind of option movements during these holds. Walk the big toes together to touch, and let's start to reach your left leg up. Stacking the hip, bending the knee, enjoy the stretch, lengthen out through the front of the chest, hollow out your belly, and take about 2 more breaths here. We're going to be stepping that left foot in between the palms. Drop the back heel down, setting up a warrior 2 first. So you've got your block there. When you get into your setup of warrior 2, find that depth. And again, make sure that knee stays right over top of the heel. Both arms are the same height. And then find that drishti point. Find that focus gaze while keeping your heart palate lifted. You're breathing in and out of the nose, and then straighten out the left leg. So like we did on the other side, we're not going to drop into that hip yet. We're going to do that when we're in the depth of the pose. We're going to try to hold proper form. Hips are square to the wall that you're looking at. Your toes are facing directly to that direction. And then reach the upper body forward. It's not going to go too far on this one. And then you're just going to tilt at the side body. Palm can be on the thigh or just at the top of the shin as the right fingertips reach up. You're breathing in and out of the nose, really finding that expansion through the lungs and the upper chest palate. And try to keep your shoulders down and relaxed. It's like you're placed between 2 pallets of glass. Or in other words, if you were to lean up against the wall, you want both glutes to touch evenly and both shoulders, okay? More of a proper form here. Take 2 more breaths. Eyes toward the top of the mat. Like, let's sit into that hip, and then you could reach down, palm to the block. Level 1 height. Now that top shoulder maybe can come into alignment with the right hip. There's a change in the angle of the opening through the left inner thigh. And if it's there, right arm behind the back, try to find a bind. So trying to reach the right fingertips onto the left quad. Okay, your body needs that oxygen right now, so you're breathing slow and easy in and out of the nose. Keep reaching that chest palate up and forward. And you're here for just a few more breaths. You can always take the eyes to the top of the mat, listen to your body, pay attention to what's happening in the neck. Final breath. Micro bend into that left knee, unbind, move the block, plant the palms, either vinyasa or down dog direct for a few breaths. You're looking past the inner thighs. And you're either holding here, waiting for your next add-on, or coming down into a child's pose. Grab a little bit of water if you need.